Aloha! Today we're going to be talking about everything there is to know about Royal Caribbean's Royal Up program. Thanks for watching. Mahalo! So whether you've used Royal Caribbean's Royal Up program before, or whether you're a first timer, I promise there's going to be something in this video for you guys. So stay tuned till the end and you'll get to see a little bit of the tips and tricks that I've learned from my cruises with Royal Caribbean. So first off, what is Royal Caribbean's Royal Up program? The Royal Up program is basically a silent, blind auction where you have the chance to upgrade your stateroom from potentially an interior all the way up to an aqua theater 2-bedroom. Whether or not you're going to actually win that auction is totally up to you and how much you bid. So here's a little bit more about it. Let's take a look. So there's three things that really play a large role in how much it's going to cost for you to upgrade your stateroom using the Royal Up program. And those three things are ship capacity, what ship you're on, and what time of year that ship sailing is. Ship capacity is by far the most important thing when it comes to trying to get your upgrade from your interior to a higher stateroom. And the reason for that obviously is because if the ship is more sold out, they're going to have less available staterooms for you to upgrade to. The second thing you're going to want to look at in terms of how much to bid is what ship you're on. So if you're on a Quantum class or an Oasis class ship, chances are your minimum bids are going to be a little bit higher and you're going to have to spend more in order to be successful with your Royal Up. And the last thing that you're going to need to keep in mind if you're going to want to win your upgrade on your next sailing is what time of year is your sailing going on. So if you're on a summer sailing, if you're on a holiday sailing, if you're on a spring break, maybe you're going in the second week of March or the third week of March, chances are it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get your upgrade. So you're going to want to make sure that you bid a little bit more in order to be successful. And so now guys, I'm going to show you a little bit of the website and what you can expect when you get that email inviting you to make your first Royal Up bids on your next sailing. And so if you guys do follow the channel and you follow me on vlogs, you guys might know that I'm going on Adventure of the Seas coming up here, July 26th to July 30th. So those vlogs will be coming out shortly. But let me just show you guys a little bit about what the Royal Up page looks like for that cruise. And I can also show you what it looks like for my Harmony of the Seas cruise, which I'm going on in September. But if you look at this Adventure of the Seas cruise, you'll see it's a 4-night out of Bayonne, which is Cape Liberty, New Jersey. And so since this is a Freedom class ship, obviously it's going to be a little bit more of a value ship. You're not going to need to spend those Quantum or Oasis class prices. But since it is summer, I know that there's going to be a little bit more competition. It's probably going to be closer to being at capacity. And so what I always do is I always go to Royal Caribbean's website. I'll put in the booking information for that exact cruise and I'll see how many rooms they still have available. If I'm bidding on something like a balcony, and I know there's lots of ocean view balconies available, I'm obviously not going to spend a ton of money on my bid because chances are I'm going to get that bid and I'm going to win. So if you're looking for an upgrade and you know what you want to upgrade to, I would definitely suggest you go to Royal Caribbean's website first and check it out because it might actually be cheaper for you just to call Royal Caribbean and make the upgrade as well. So that's definitely something you guys are going to want to keep in mind. And so now here you guys will see Harmony of the Seas, which I'm going on in the first week of September. And so this one is a 7-night. It's a little bit longer. So that's another thing you guys are going to want to keep in mind. If it's a longer cruise, then you're probably going to have to pay a little bit more in order to upgrade. But this one is not in summer. This one's in early fall. So September is a little bit more of a quiet time compared to summer. And so you'll see even though it's an Oasis class ship, Harmony of the Seas is not going to be all that different than on the Adventure of the Seas that I just showed you guys. Now, here's one of my tips, guys, which probably not very many people know, but just so you guys know and you're aware, the Royal Up program actually is done in waves. So as it gets closer to your cruise, every couple weeks, sometimes it's every 3 weeks or a month, they might do 1 or 2 or even 3 waves where they'll release different bids and they'll give people their emails and tell them that they've won so that you can kind of see whether you won really soon or if you want to wait till you're closer to your cruise. You don't have to put a bid in right away. So what I did for this cruise, because I don't really want to just get an ocean view balcony, I'm really hoping to possibly get one of the grand suites or possibly a panoramic suite. And so what I did is I waited until after the first round of all of the bidding was over, and I heard some people on the Facebook groups were starting to win their bids, and then I placed my bid. This way, I'm not just getting some empty room. I might get a room that someone had to unfortunately cancel their cruise, and they're going to not be able to be in that really cool suite. So I waited until after the first round of Royal Ups went up, and the way I did that is I just watched the Facebook website. And so here's some more tips and tricks for you that I've learned along the way from my experiences on Royal Caribbean with the Royal Up program. A lot of the times I've actually been successful with my upgrades when I just bid $5 or $10 over the minimum. I've never had to bid some crazy huge amount. I usually take the slider when they show me the screen and I go all the way to the side that says minimum, and then I just go up a little bit so that I can beat some of those people like myself that are trying to get a really cheap upgrade. So usually I go about $5 to $10 over minimum, and on my last 4 cruises I've gotten 4 out of 4 upgrades for that price. Now that being said, if you don't like the room you're in right now and you're sure about that, I would make sure you either call Royal Caribbean and see about switching to a room you enjoy, or make sure you bid a lot on the Royal Up program. Like I said, as COVID ends, it's going to be getting to higher and higher ship capacities, so it's going to be harder and harder to keep getting these bids won, and unfortunately that means that it's going to be more and more expensive as well. So if you're sure you don't like your room, make sure you guys put some bids out there and you possibly call Royal Caribbean about upgrading your room. Another tip I have for you guys is don't stress, don't give up hope. People cancel cruises for all sorts of reasons. Unfortunately with COVID, unfortunately with the way the world is these days, people have to cancel last minute. And even if you bid $5 or $10 over minimum on a Crown Loft suite on Oasis of the Seas, you can still win. Your minimum might have been very low and you might be thinking, oh, there's no chance. Guess what, guys? I've heard stories of people winning grand suites for $200 per person, which comes out to $400 total dollars. Now guys, a grand suite, an owner suite, Crown Loft, Aqua Theater, these are rooms that sometimes people spend $10,000, $15,000 on, and they have these cruises booked for years in advance. So when you get the opportunity to make one of these upgrades, take that opportunity. Bid the minimum if you feel comfortable. That's my best tip I can give you guys if you want to try and get one of those really awesome rooms like an owner suite or a grand suite. Another thing you guys might have noticed is that a lot of people try and make their upgrades and are either successful or unsuccessful if they do it before 30 days. So for some cruises, it'll allow you to make your upgrade bids all the way out 90 days before your cruise. Now for other people, it never shows up on the Royal Up website for whatever reason that is. I do know that if you booked through certain travel agencies like that are not necessarily affiliated with Royal Caribbean in the same way and they give different deals, like Costco, Sam's Club for example, you might not be able to get that Royal Up offer. So if you guys want to make sure you get the Royal Up offer, make sure you guys go through Royal Caribbean's website and you'll have that opportunity to bid on an upgraded stateroom. So for the 2 sailings that I already showed you guys, my Adventure of the Seas one, I was able to bid on that about 70 days out. They gave me the email about 2 months, a little more than 2 months before my actual cruise. And even for the Harmony of the Seas, which I booked in September, I had that email pretty much instantly at 90 days. So they're definitely trying to get the bids put in, and then like I said, they'll release those requests and they'll submit them and let you know whether you got the request in waves. So you might hear back within a couple weeks, you might hear back a month before your sailing, you might not hear back until you get on your sailing. Yes, that is correct, guys. You might not get your sailing upgraded until you are on the ship. Now the good thing about that is if you already unpacked your bags, they will contact you and ask you if you want to still change, if you want to be upgraded. If you're not interested because possibly you already unpacked all your stuff and you're happy with your stateroom, you are allowed to decline it. Now that is the only time you can decline your request. If it's granted prior to you being sailing, you're going to have to pay for that room through your credit card and you're stuck in that room. There is no going back. Just a little bit of information for you guys if you were possibly upgraded after you're already on the ship. All right, another really cool tips and tricks I have for you guys, which I have not yet been able to experience yet, is the perks of being in a suite. So if you upgrade to a suite, you do get whatever benefits that suite entails. So for example, if you get something in Sky Class, which is the top most high suite on the Oasis class ships, then you're going to get your deluxe drink package, you're going to get your genie, you're going to get basically everything. Now, if you're upgraded to certain rooms like a panoramic suite or an owner suite, those are going to come with other benefits like your robes in your room, like your upgraded amenities. They don't come with the deluxe drink package, but they do often come with that concierge lounge where there will be a couple hours during the afternoon right before dinner where you'll be able to go and get hors d'oeuvres served as well as possibly cocktails. So if you guys are bidding on a suite, and I'm telling you this, be careful, because not all suites give you the same benefits. So if you're upgrading to a potential suite, make sure you guys look ahead of time. And if you're interested in bidding on, like I said, the Sky Class, take into account that drink package cost, because the deluxe drink package is about $80 a day on those Oasis class ships. And that money will get deducted out of your upgrade because you're not going to have to pay for that drink package. So that's my number one tip in terms of the suites, if you guys are going to be upgrading to one of those on your next sailing. The next thing I want to share with you guys, which isn't really a tip or a trick, it's more just important information, because I did not know this, but I learned this out myself. If you guys go on a sailing that is royal upped, and you guys go from a regular room to a suite, like I was mentioning a minute ago, you do not get double Crown and Anchor points. I will repeat that again. You do not get double Crown and Anchor loyalty points. I know, it's unfortunate. If you book a suite from the beginning, you'll get those points and you'll get double the loyalty points towards going to Emerald, Diamond, Diamond Plus, Pinnacle, whatever you are going for, guys. But if you get your room upgraded during the Royal Up, unfortunately they do not give you the double points. So keep that in mind if that's one of the reasons you guys are bidding on a suite. Another little tidbit of information that I want to send you guys your way is that Royal Caribbean actually does not do the Royal Up process. The Royal Up process is completed by a third party, and so if you have a question, if you have an issue with the Royal Up process, you don't go to Royal Caribbean, you actually have to go through the Royal Up company. It's all outsourced, so Royal Caribbean, I mean, yeah, they get the money at the end of the day, but they're not the ones dealing with the upgrade. So if you have an issue with your room, you don't like what you got upgraded to, unfortunately, it's really hard to try and fix that. So make sure you guys are happy with whatever you're upgrading to, because like I said, Royal Caribbean is actually not the ones in charge of this whole Royal Up process. Some of you guys might be thinking out there, uh-oh, I just changed my credit card in my bids. What am I going to do now? What happens if they try and charge my card? Well, from what I've heard from people that have had the similar experiences is that they will send you an email, they'll contact you, and then you are given 24 hours to reply back with updated credit card information. From what I've heard, as long as you get back within that 24 hours, you can still have your upgraded stateroom that you were hoping for, but I'm sure if you do not reply back in 24 hours, then they will be giving that stateroom to the next highest bidder. So make sure if you guys update your credit card, that you update your bids and you resubmit that information with your new credit card. And the last tip I have for you guys is that if you're a solo traveler, you still have to pay for the first and second person's name on the reservation. So whatever your bid is, it's always per person. Make sure you multiply it by 2. So if the minimum bid for you to make an upgrade to a balcony is $100 per person, you still have to pay that double occupancy for the first and second passenger, even though you're traveling by yourself. And so that's it for you guys in terms of tips and tricks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you stay tuned for the cruise vlogs coming to you shortly. I'm Ken with Ohana, and Aloha!